Instead of you to apply for resident permit, to apply for visa, we say, come and take. Once you do this investment, there is evidence, come and take right of residence straight for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, depending on the level of your investment. But this will be worked out with appropriate agencies responsible for checking to make sure the money is genuine, with the responsible agencies that will determine the type of investment Nigeria will need. All
right, just hold on with your thoughts. We're still with the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service. Stay with us after this break. Welcome back. We're still with the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Immigration Service. Thank you for joining us again, Mr. Bandidi.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's continue on the 2017 immigration regulations. How is this going to check terrorists' movement across the borders?
Yes, it will. First, the borders are very difficult to manage because it is large. We need a lot of technology to do that, which government cannot 100% fund it. If we miss you at the border, we could get you at your residence. That's the strategy. Control are in many forms in immigration. You could do control before entering the visa regime system. You could do control at the point of entry at border, land, sea, and air. But if you miss the migrant, he refused to come and collect visa in your embassy. If you miss the migrant, he refused to pass through the appropriate borders, land or sea. He must sleep somewhere in your country. He must reside in a hotel, in a house, anywhere. So you have the opportunity to catch any wanted person. Will have a complete database of people who are in Nigeria, which will give access to appropriate law enforcement. It is the best way that we can control terrorists, criminal networks who cross national borders. Even if you change your name, we'll have your database. We have your biometric, which you can compare with international database of wanted person. It's the best innovation a country can have.
You know, it's no wonder a lot of eyebrows are raised whenever the government talks about, you know, fighting terrorism, fighting illegal immigration, immigrants and all of that. So we're now looking, what does this tell about the government, you know, the seriousness of government to really tackle these issues?
This law is a clear sign of commitment of government of Nigeria. I'm glad to say that if you look at the global perception of migration management, most sending countries, Nigeria is taken as sending country. Even though we receive a lot of migrants across the West African region, we are also a hub. But the number of arrivals in Italy alone last year is the highest, almost 13,000 for 1 year. Many people have died on the sea. So by making a legislation to criminalize people who smuggle persons outside the country, as a source country, I think is the greatest commitment Nigeria can show. Our president has raised an issue during the last UNGA, United Nations General Assembly meeting, has committed that good governance, good election, sustainable development are the key issues to tackle mass migration. Climate change, like in the Lake Chad area, desertification are issues that will force people to migrate. So migration and development are joined together. You are aware this government is committed in fighting many of these issues, especially corruption, many issues. It will change if people are comfortable, if developments are available, if jobs are available. Nobody will take the risk to go through the desert. So it is linked with that development. A good governance is the solution to. But
you, as the Comptroller General, have made in several instances attempts and even promises, you know, to strengthen border controls and all that. You know, is this part of your plan?
The legislation is important. We have got the legislation. We have vehicles patrol. We are developing communication. We are training people. But as I said, we need support, especially in the area of welfare of my staff.
Is the government not listening to you?
Government is listening. They have given me, I told you, the FEC approved patrol vehicles for us. Government has approved the legislation. This legislation comes through government. It's an executive request. The minister signed it after the Minister of Justice has vetted the document. It is a good document. Government is committing a lot of money in terms of training for us. The international community is even more interested. I'm glad to tell you that the European Union, the Italian government, I've just met with the Italian government, they really appreciate Nigerian strategy. The Italian ambassador was available during the passage of this regulation, and they have seen the commitment of government of Nigeria. They say they are committed to help Nigeria tackle border problems. So Nigerian government is committed, but we need to put more resources on ground.
You know, there's an issue on ground right now. I needed to confirm a report right now that Nigeria's e-passport central database is stored with a Malaysian, firm. We understand there was some investigation in that regard. So can you confirm this?
The database passport was developed in partnership with a private company. Passport is run as a PPP. The company that works for Nigeria is Irish Smart Technology Limited. It's a Nigerian registered company. The reporter came around and we allowed the reporter to investigate. They should have investigated the company that signed agreement with the federal government. It's called Irish Smart Technology Limited. It's a Nigerian company. But a Nigerian company cannot operate alone. The database is in Nigeria. It's in our hand. It's not in Malaysia. It's very sad. The only thing that comes from Malaysia are the booklets. The passport booklets are being produced, but the company brings them from Malaysia, and we have taxed them that they should stop importing because of the exchange rate problem, that a factory must be established in Nigeria if we want to work. And others are ready to do the same. So it's not true that the database is in another country. The
House of Representatives has been asking for policy upgrades. Is this something you're going to look into?
Based on the immigration regulation, I've already set a committee to develop a manual. A manual will guide officers on how to do it. The law says we have the right to give resident to spouse of person married to Nigeria. The manual would tell immigration officer how to do this. So we are developing the manual. We already have the act, we have the regulation. With the manual available on ground, we shall be able to implement the policy very well. This 1st April, we are going to train officers. We'll take first controllers and above to train them on the new regulation so that they understand what it is before we step it down to lower officers. We are working together with the international community in terms of migration management. When a person is smuggled from Nigeria through Niger to Italy, you can't fight this war alone. You need to work with the international community to find out who are responsible, who are making the money, who are making the benefits. We are trying to do this with the international community. So it's possible for us to win this war, but not us alone, together with the international community.
Mr. Mohammed Babandidi, thank you for joining us on the.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.